Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the all-new Ronbus Ripple. Here I have the R1.14, which is the hybrid shape. And then we also have the R2.14, which is the wide body, more standard shape. Now both of these paddles have the same length handle. They both have 5.5 inch long handles with 4 1/8 inch of circumference. Both of these paddles, as you might guess by their model names, R1.14 and the R2.14, are 14mm paddles. Right now there is no 16mm in the Ripple. That was delisted a while ago during the whole Gen 3 debacle, and we are just left right now, currently at least, with the 14mm variants. Now, something that really stuck out to me on the stats of both of these paddles are their swing weights and their twist weights. Both the R1.14 and the R2.14 have extremely low swing weights. The R2.14 has a slightly lower swing weight at 103, and the R1.14 has a slightly higher swing weight at 106. They both are very low. They're both just lighter paddles in general, on average being 7.8 ounces. However, they could be 0.2 ounces more or less, so technically it could be anywhere from 7.6 to an 8-ounce paddle. Now, the thing that makes these paddles special is the core and the so-called ripples. But you can actually see the ripples and you can feel them on the surface. It doesn't look as pronounced as it feels, but when you feel it, you can really feel those ripples coming out. And that new core is really what differentiates this paddle from anything else on the market. Technically, this is called the 3D carbon fiber grid infused EVA core, or the carbon fire core for short. These paddles feature the same kind of carbon grid that the Pulsar FX series featured, which adds a little more stability in the core. It doesn't feel quite as soft or mushy as other paddles that feature foam cores. So what does this mean for power? Well, when it comes to the R2.14, this paddle definitely has a little bit less power than the R1.14, but it's still up there, able to compete with some of the most powerful paddles on today's market. These paddles are not as powerful as the Gen 3s / Mod TA15s are, but they are still more powerful than most other power paddles on the market. I think they're probably more on par with the new Yola Gen 3S or the Paddletech Bantam series. Now, like I said, the R1.14 is a little bit more powerful than the R2.14, though it does have a little bit less pop. So if you're looking for more pop, the R14 is definitely going to be a better option. That would mainly help you at the kitchen. If you're up there blocking or coming in to hit a pop-up, this paddle is going to be a little more efficient at that, though both of course can easily get the job done. Of course, that means that the R1.14 is going to be a little bit better for driving and baseline shots. And something that is really nice about both of these paddles, though the R2.14 is a little more forgiving just because of its shape, it's going to have a larger sweet spot. But really, there's not many places on the paddle face where if you hit, it's gonna feel like a dead ball. The carbon fire cores do a really good job at generating power almost anywhere on the surface. Of course, you're still gonna want to hit the ball in the center of the paddle and not on the edges out here. So when it comes to control, both of these paddles have great control, although honestly, I think the R2.14 is a little bit easier to control in my opinion. And that's just my personal opinion because it's not quite as poppy and just feels a little bit more maneuverable. If you are someone who prefers a wide body paddle, then you're probably going to want the R2.14 over the R1.14. The same goes for the other way as well. I don't think either of these paddles between the R1.14 and the R2.14 have significant advantages over each other that are going to make you say, if you're usually a wide body player, switch to the hybrid shape. If you usually prefer elongated paddles, I don't think you're going to want to switch to the R2.14 either. Regardless of which shape you prefer, both of these paddles have really impressive control considering that they are both 14mm power paddles. It's definitely still possible to pop the ball up, but not in the same way that you would with, say, a Gearbox Power Pro, where you just hold it slightly too tight and the ball shoots off the face because it's just that poppy. I actually think that both of the Ripples grab the ball better than something like the Yola Mod TA15, and because of that, it's easier to hit drop shots. You can really control where the ball wants to go. Whereas on the Mod TA15, it's a little more power oriented. The ball comes off in a more direct fashion, and you're really trying to calculate how much power you need when you're hitting those drops. With the Ripple, it's kind of like you can just feel where to put it and the ball goes there. Because it's not so much power that it's going to launch it beyond your expectations, but it also has incredible dwell time and grips the balls really well. And I think there's several reasons for that. So one, of course, is the spin that this paddle gets, and they both get really great spin. Part of that is because of the updated peel ply texture that these paddles have. If you're somebody who had the R3 Nova when it first came out, you would notice if you bought one today that the peel ply is a little bit different, and that newer peel ply is going to generate a bit better spin. That's exactly what the Ripples have. I also do think that the actual ripples in the core, again, you can feel them, they do help grab the ball a little bit. Some people were concerned that I talked to that maybe that if the ball hit directly on one of the ripples, that it would deflect off in a weird way. But I haven't seen any of that. I've been playing with this for almost a month, and I have not seen anything weird like that happen. I think that the ripples mainly just add to the dwell time and catch the ball a bit better, which really allows you to shape your shots in ways that most other paddles can't do. Another important thing to mention is people have been talking about a break-in period, and that is very common with a lot of these newer paddles that are Gen 3. Although Ronbus claims that this is a Gen 4. Like I said, I've been playing with this paddle for about a month now, and I have not noticed any sort of break-in periods or anything. It seems like it's been pretty steady. If it has been breaking in, it's been doing very slowly, and I just haven't noticed it. But I do think that it's played pretty consistently from when I first unwrapped it. Something else I want to mention is the price of the Ripple. Historically, Ronbus paddles have all been under $200. The Ripple is breaking that tradition and retails at $250. So you're now getting closer to more of the other, I guess you could say, mainstream paddle prices on the market, with the Mod TA15 from Yola at $280, and of course the Gearbox Pro Series, which they all retail at $275. This is just a fact of life, considering how complicated it is to manufacture a paddle like this versus just a standard thermoform paddle. You also have to account for the R&D cost that went into designing this paddle, as this is a completely original and patent-pending design. The Ripple had been in R&D for over a year by the point it was released, and there's no doubt that working to comply with USA Pickleball regulations after the 16mm was delisted also added to the cost. However, despite the higher price tag than usual from Ronbus, I do think that it is worth it for this paddle, given how unique it is, because there really is nothing else like this on the market. Yes, you can get other paddles that play very well, but this really is unique because of the carbon fiber core, which only the Ripple features. One more thing to keep in mind is the Ripple has a 6-month warranty, whereas now it's becoming a little more standard for companies to have a 1-year warranty. Of course, they could always change this, and it may change, but currently right now it is 6 months. Thank you for watching this video on both the R2.14 and the R1.14 of the Ronbus Ripple. If you liked it, please leave a like, leave a comment below, and let me know what shape you prefer. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.